Wasting your life away, not feeling entitled every moment of every second of every day, and consistently refreshing that mindset is causing you to settle for less. And I hope that you don't die unhappy, because all in all, you're in charge of your destiny. You're in charge of your life, and you can do whatever you want. But so often I see people falling prey to settling for less and putting themselves at the bottom, considering themselves last and investing in themselves last as they consume and go with the flow of their environment that they're around, instead of taking charge, taking hold, and really executing at a level where they feel entitled and they fuel that entitlement. It's almost as important as drinking water, breathing air. Feeling entitled, who else is going to feel entitled for you but you? So take the time every day to really invest in your entitlement, to retrain your brain. The you of yesterday is no longer here, and you can't be the you of the future. That you's not there yet. So whether you're dwelling on the past or projecting into the future, no matter where your focus is, if it's not on the you that's here now and investing in that you and raising your entitlement, then you're lacking. You're lacking heavy. Letting the you that, for this analogy, is a plant, sit in the desert without any water, slowly withering away. Maybe every once in a while you'll give yourself a little water. You're like, oh, whoa, self-love needs to come through. Let me water myself a little bit. But that's what I usually see people doing. They let themselves get taken into the world and let the world and what happens to them choose their destiny, choose their life path, choose what they feel like they're entitled to do or not able to do, instead of really realizing that it's in your hands. You are enough at all times. And, a lot of times, societally or self-imposed, the belief isn't there that you really are enough. And that is a key fundamental pillar to really grounded entitlement, is that you are enough. When was the last time that you really took a whole day and were conscious? You were present. You felt entitled to everything in the world. You're going to die. There's no way that, so far I'm aware of, that a human can escape death. So, if you're going to die, do what makes you happy. Live life for you. Choose your life path. Choose your destiny. Feel entitled to that path. Feel entitled to that outcome. Every day, tell yourself, train yourself to operate in a mindset where there is no losing. Why are you going to rate or critique things as, oh, this was a win, oh, this was a loss? Like, it should be nonstop winning. That's all you can do. You're entitled to these wins. Now, say, for example, the way you feel like you're being perceived by people who are around. Like, if you are, say, investing in yourself like that, are you taking the time to then, live that life continuously, to not question or waver? Now, if you're operating in the world, really taking in and embodying and living with a sense of entitlement, then that's all you really need to do. If you act like a rock star, you get treated like a rock star, people will fall into frame. Does a king or a queen question whether they're a king or a queen? No, they feel entitled to that. And people fall into place. They just accept it. The strongest frame wins. But in order to be entitled and to come across and not have people question you, have to be grounded. Grounding is when you're unshaken by it, whether it be external stimulus or internal thoughts. You really have embodied fully to your core as a fundamental belief, one of the core pillars that you operate from, that you are entitled to whatever it may be. Then, people will fall there. How can they question the foundation? The foundation is what it is. But if you just have a belief, a thought, oh, well, I want this, I'm desiring it, so I'm going to be entitled to it. Yes, that false entitlement, people see right through you. You'll be wavering. You'll be incongruent. Your thoughts, your words, your actions won't be aligned. And people will see that lack of congruence. But if you really feel entitled, and this is a great way to check your blind spots, are you being congruent? Do you really feel entitled? Will other people be able to perceive your entitlement and be able to believe it? And even if they don't, are you grounded enough to that their opinion won't shake you, won't change a single thing? It'll be like wind passing by. You're just like, oh, the breeze is gone? I forgot. These people are tripping. I'm entitled. I am the rock star. I am the queen. I'm on top. Nobody can challenge me because I know it's my life path. It's my destiny. I'm going to die, and if I die, I don't want to sell myself short and settle. So I'm going to be grounded. I'm going to be congruent. I'm going to be entitled to this. I'm going to do what makes me happy. No question about it. And there's no time to question. You're going to die eventually. Now, are you going to start living life now, or are you going to wait? Are you going to dwell in thought, oh, well, the past me wasn't really fully into it, so how can the me now have the track record to be entitled to this? Oh, the future me, it's so far away to really get to that peak goal. Can I even be entitled now, or do I have to wait till I'm entitled? No, the entitlement comes from within you. Regardless of the external circumstances, you should feel entitled. Entitlement doesn't need merit, doesn't need prestige, doesn't need accolades. It comes from you and your core, your grounded, fundamental beliefs. Where are you sitting at? Are you sitting at a great place of self-love, of investment into yourself? Or are you just wavering, going with the flow, letting your external circumstances decide whether or not you can actually be entitled to the life that you desire? Just going to choose to lose. Choose to lose. You're going to be drifting away back there, looking back and trying to catch that person. No, me. No, oh, me. No, you need to leave that old you behind. You can't be dwelling on that you who didn't feel entitled. As soon as you realize that there's a lack of entitlement, there should be a flip of a switch where you just, whoa, the lights are on. I'm awake. Am I alive now? Have I ever been alive before now? Doing things that didn't make me happy? Living a life towards death that wasn't satisfying? I didn't feel entitled to what I was supposedly working towards. I was just dwelling. Were you even alive before now, before that entitlement was there? Were you really an authentic you? A congruent you? It's scary to see so many people walk around with false entitlement, really not invested in themselves, really not continuously, thriving off of a state of abundance coming from within where they know that they are enough. They know that they can be entitled to the life that they desire instead of waiting for something else to give them permission. They're too permission seeking. They don't feel that entitlement. They're just drifting away towards death, never gonna be fully happy. You're the only one. And take the frame, hold the frame. The strongest frame will win. If you're having trouble transitioning, then just go all in. You can't sit on the fence. If you're having trouble, then you're questioning. You're like, wow, should I settle for this life of dissatisfaction that I've been going with, or should I wake up and be fulfilled, really entitled, never questioning myself, knowing in my heart of heart and the core of me that I am entitled to this? No question. Give yourself that permission now, starting right now, to do whatever you want. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to give yourself permission to be entitled to the life that you want to live. Who else gets to decide that? And people will treat you the way you expect them to treat you. And again, those that don't, they just fall by the wayside. You don't pay them any mind. They're obviously not entitled to their own life. That's why they're nitpicking and trying to hate. Haters gonna hate. But if you're entitled, the haters you don't even see them. It's on like autopilot to block out the haters, because you're so entitled that when someone comes at you with a competitive frame, what are you even talking about? It's like someone saying, when it's daytime like it is right now, oh no, it's nighttime. What are you talking about? It's night right now. You're like, this person's tripping. I don't know. I'm gonna just ignore them. That's how you should look at people when they try to challenge your entitlement. Just, what? Can't even hear you. This is crazy. And it's not about seeking validation, seeking external stimulus. You're doing this for yourself. The entitlement only is there for you to actually embody the fullness of life's experience instead of selling yourself short and settling. And like I said, give yourself that permission to start now and consistently give yourself that permission. Reinforce this. Just like you go to the gym and you work out to get the muscles, you can watch as many YouTube tutorials as you want, but until you actually take that action, you won't start growing that sense of entitlement. And you have to consistently, as your life progresses, as your goals change, what you desire changes, as it evolves, you have to consistently, entitlement, I'm entitled, do those reps. Train yourself to really be conditioned to living in a place in you where you are always entitled, never questioning, grounded. And like I said, other people will treat you the way that you expect to be treated. Does that queen act like, oh, people are going to treat me like me? No, they're going to treat you like a queen, because that's the only way that you should be treated, because you're entitled to that prestige of being a queen. Where else would you be treated like? And if they do, then they're either crazy or they're a peasant who's jealous. So either way, they're hating because they're crazy and they can't understand how you could be operating on such an epic level, or they're just a peasant and they're hating because they wish they were on your epic level. And if they don't, again, you just ignore them. The people who feed into you, that's awesome. They're recognizing real, recognize real a lot of the times. So if you're really entitled, people will realize, oh, this person's really entitled. This ain't fake. They're not posing, faking it till they make it. They really feel entitled now. And then they'll recognize that realness and they can't question it. That authenticity, that congruence. And it'll take you so far. But a lot of people don't grow their entitlement like they should. They don't feed into themselves every day after day after day after day. And it's like they really are waiting to be given the permission. They're waiting to be happy. Oh, I'll be able to be entitled when. And then that when is a future projection. The you that's here now is using that as a scapegoat to not take action to be entitled now. Oh, well, I've not been entitled all this time in my life, and now I'm choosing to be entitled. Well, I've told the past me that I'll be happy when, I'll be able to be entitled when. So I'll just keep going with that. I'll start to work on my entitlement tomorrow. Or maybe it'll be a circumstantial entitlement that they'll fall into. There are many traps of false entitlement. You get a little bit of situational entitlement. You're with the homegirls, turning up. You feel that level of permission because you're with the squad to feel entitled to confidence, to feel entitled to enjoyment and happiness. But then when you're with yourself alone, that situational entitlement dissipates. Where'd all that confidence, charisma, enjoyment of life go? It was all situational. You're getting your state pumped up by being with the homegirls, turning up, girls' night out, girls' day at the beach, and then all of a sudden, when you're alone, you're so reliant on them to give you that permission, to give you that environment where you situationally feel entitled, that now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Oh, me, waiting to feel entitled again. Where did that queen go? Oh, she wasn't really there the whole time. You didn't daily train yourself to know that you're enough and have that core confidence. You should never question, because you have it in you. You are enough. And people will recognize. But if you are situationally entitled, then that's like, oh yeah, I went to the gym once, I got gains, I'm swole. No. Well, why is it then you don't feel like you're enough when you're alone and you need your friends to get that state boost to feel like you're enough? You can't sit in silence and enjoy yourself, you being you. You don't feel entitled? Gotta change it. Gotta build that up. Fortify that grounded, authentic, congruent entitlement. And like I said, you have it within you. You don't need external things to feel entitled. Entitlement is from within. If you have the external thing, then that's like a cherry on top, icing on the cake. You know, a little extra to enjoy. But the entitlement should be with you always. Now make sure that every day you audit, you check yourself periodically. I like to do a moment to moment. Am I feeling on top of the world? Am I feeling like the most lit individual in the cosmos right now? If I'm not, whoa, I just caught myself lacking. I was slipping. I should have been on top, but for some reason I wasn't. And then I'll move forward from there. Whoo, good looks, Peter. You caught yourself. And you do these audits, make sure that that entitlement is continuously being cultivated, continuously growing. You're finding new areas of entitlement. You don't want to just be one-track minded, living life, I only, not necessarily to the situational entitlement point, but do you only feel a certain sense of entitlement, like, I'm only entitled to this? You should be entitled to everything. You should broaden your perspective on life and open up your eyes and really wake up to living a fuller life of entitlement. You should be entitled not only to material things, not only to experiential, sensations, internal validation, external stimulus validating you. You should be entitled to the whole world. It's like goggles of clouded lack of entitlement. Then you have, I have goggles where I'm entitled to what I want. I'm not dying anymore, not feeling entitled. I'm dying and I'm feeling entitled to a few things. And then you have the limitless expansion of what else you can feel entitled to. Say you were, I'm now only entitled to the best. If there's a chode, if there's a creepy guy, if a guy expresses any neediness, clinginess, jealousy, demanding of my time, not open-minded, being codependent, then I will not tolerate that in the slightest, because I am now entitled to nothing but the best. I can no longer look back and be that old me who settled for less. Now you're entitled to nothing but the finest. But what else are you going to be entitled to? Now I'm only entitled to people treating me with the utmost respect. I'm a goddess. If someone doesn't come to me with the energy of recognizing that I'm a goddess and they combat my frame, I'm not going to contest them. They're not worth my time. I will only resonate with people who feed into me that positive energy, those good vibes, because I'm only entitled to being a goddess and being around people who will treat me as such. And it can go in many different ways, but the point is expanding and not just being one-tracked in entitlement. Don't limit yourself there. Just because, you got one little victory, you got a little bit of entitlement now, you believe that you're worth more, you realize that you are enough. That doesn't stop there. That should be ever expanding. There's so much in life that you can experience. Why not feel entitled to every bit of potential entitlement in every single realm possible that you would come across? You should not only feel entitled to things, but feel entitled to the best possible life experience that you could have. But it takes time to train yourself out of social conditioning to get yourself to the point where you really feel that, where you can exist in a reality different from the old you, where you weren't feeling entitled to nothing but the finest of life's fullness and experience. What will make you really happy, what will leave you with no regrets when you die, instead of regretting, I wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda, mighta, should never be a problem for you, because you're entitled to everything that's lit. And like I said, not to put a limiting belief out there, you could have a paradigm shift. You could really realize, I need to audit myself and make sure I'm feeling like I am enough. I am living life knowing and existing in a state where I am enough. I'm audit every time I don't feel like that and fix it so I can never go back to that old me. There's only forward now. That old me is dead, gone, because I don't want to die like that old me with regrets. And social conditioning, although it may continue to creep, that paradigm shift may be enough. You may just recognize, I need to wake up. I need to start living. I've been taking a breath of air as a false me. I've been taking that drink of water as a false me. Now, the me that's entitled to all of what I could ever desire is here. That same me that was here 2 minutes ago, gone. That same me that was here a moment ago, gone. I audited, I checked, I caught myself. And that's all you need. But for the social conditioning, as it continues to creep in, you got to be aware. That's why entitlement's a continuous thing that you have to really grow and grow, because societally, social conditioning, all that external stimulus is trying to get you to judge, trying to get you to compare, trying to show you that you are not enough. There's always something else that you could need, that you're desiring now. But you should realize that although you are entitled to that you want that nonetheless. You're good. You're good as is. And you're good up until you get to whatever the goal is. And then even then, there's still more to experience. But you don't let all that external stimulus, all this propaganda of comparison, whether it be through, actual advertisements, through just social norms, through, groupthink, through peer pressure, through environmental pressure, through what's that other thing called? Your own thoughts that have been implanted in you from social conditioning. Whatever form social conditioning may come in, it shouldn't shake you, because now you're grounded in entitlement. You see things, but it doesn't alter your reality of, I am entitled. I am enough, and I'm entitled to being enough right now. And then you can go out and you can enjoy things, not feeling outcome dependent, not feeling like you need something to satiate you, to validate you. You're entitled to that validation, to that satiation, but it's not something that you're craving and needing to complete you, because you're entitled to it. So it's expected that it will come to you. It's like I said, that icing on the cake, that cherry on top. It's there to enhance, but not there to complete you. And whether it be the external social conditioning or self-imposed conditioning, you have lived this long. You have that many years of conditioning of your thoughts, your beliefs, that you've embodied and internalized as you. And a lot of times you have to accept that you've been wrong about a lot of things. And that's tough. Tough to go against your core beliefs, to really audit yourself at a deep level where you can really see, wow, I've been tripping about this. I wasn't entitled here. I believed this, and that belief was a detriment to my sense of entitlement, because I identified that as that certain version of me. Now I need to destroy that belief. Take away these thought loops that I get stuck in, and really get out of my head, so I can really not only feel entitled, but experience the entitlement fully by not hindering myself through my beliefs and my thoughts. Internally, you are your own worst enemy. You're the one who has to feel entitled, but yet at the same time, you're the one who's fighting that entitlement, waiting for that permission to be entitled for so long that residually it'll take, not putting a limiting belief out there, like I said, could have a paradigm shift, but it may take a while for you to fully unroot all of this old conditioning that's been implanted in you, whether it be self-imposed or social conditioning. But once you do start to audit, once you do start to wake up, be a bit more conscious, you have that burden taken off of you from these limiting beliefs that you had from before, then there won't be any need to ever resonate with those thoughts, those beliefs, that conditioning again. You'll have stacked wins, stacked reference experiences where you've already given yourself that permission to be entitled, been entitled, realized that that old belief, that these thoughts you had in your head were keeping you from reaching that optimal level of life enjoyment. Going back to the point where you should just do whatever you want. Do what makes you happy, because you're going to die. And a lot of social conditioning, self-imposed conditioning, a lot of your beliefs, a lot of your thoughts are huge, huge, huge things that are blocking your vision from opening your eyes and waking up to the fact that you could live a completely fulfilling, epic, entitled life. where you don't need anything because you realize you are enough. But it takes you doing a deep audit consistently to go back and find out what that built you up to the you who you are today kept you from being the most epic you, so that if you were to die and you weren't entitled, you weren't really living life moment to moment, feeling like you were enough. Whatever was keeping you below that success that you wanted, that entitlement that you wanted, that thing that kept you stagnant, settling for less, you got to find that and you got to destroy it. And it may be something that you identify with, maybe something that you felt was you. But if you let that stay there, you'll die unhappy with regret. So you need to wake up and check to find out where you're harboring these poisonous, toxic beliefs, conditioned thoughts, conditioned beliefs that have caused you to stagnate for so long, and eradicate them. Obviously, you'll replace them with new beliefs and thoughts of higher entitlement. You know, you'll be more present, more conscious, because you won't be stifling the true you, the realest you, the most authentic and congruent you. It's all for your benefit, it's all for your growth, but you have to be the one who wants it enough to take action and to consistently build up this new you. You're starting from scratch, you're starting from ground zero. So it's going to take a lot for you to break into the new you, and you got to consistently cultivate, show that you self-love, so that you don't slip back into those old ways, to those old habits. You leave that you behind, and you're here now, the new you, the entitled you. So raise that entitlement. Be entitled, be congruent. Your thoughts, your words, your actions, be grounded. Other people will fall into your reality. It's your reality. Are you going to live life based off of external things? Or are you going to live life for you? You're the only one experiencing it. You can water down your own life experience and settle if you like. And hey, goodbye. There's no point. No point. Settle for less, die unhappy, die with regrets. You should only be striving for that you who's awake, who's conscious, who's entitled, and knows that they are enough.